Welcome, everyone, to the Nick De La Torre show. Super excited to be here today. You can see from this camera angle that I have a beautiful blonde with me, and it's not just any beautiful blonde.
Fake blonde.
It is, well, okay. Whether it's fake or real, nobody cares about that. Nobody cares. It is not just any fake beautiful blonde or beautiful woman with fake blonde. She's a real woman.
I am a real woman.
It is the definitive beautiful woman with fake blonde.
Hello. Wow.
It is my wife.
Great start.
It is
Nick.
my
Great
wife,
start.
and I'm also graced with the presence today. You viewers are graced with the presence today of the one and only producer Ethan Nagy. Ethan, welcome to the stream as well.
Alina is very low in the shot, but that's okay. We'll fix it in
I
post.
need to
And
sit
by
on
post,
books
I mean
next time.
there is no post. So. No, it's simply because I didn't lower the camera angle. So
That's
we're
okay.
stuck with what we're
You want me to
at
sit
here.
taller?
It's real to life. She's
Yeah,
naturally short.
That's better, Alina. That's
Okay,
better.
I'll try to be really rigid.
Today we are going to be talking about the movie Oppenheimer, which I just got to watch. And
Okay. Also, isn't it Oppenheimer?
dude, I don't know. I'm Latino. I don't limit myself to.
My ears are gonna bleed.
All right,
this
Alina
hurt.
needs you to
my
turn the
gosh,
in-ears
hold on,
down a
yeah.
little.
I'll do
Sorry.
that.
I'm trying to be
I don't
tough.
limit myself to the conventional pronunciations of words that are not Spanish.
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, is that right? I don't know.
Oppenheimer.
Tell us in the stream. How do you say it? Yes, type how you say it in
Yeah,
the
there we
stream,
go.
please.
Yeah,
give
that
us
won't be
the
difficult at all.
give us the phonetic spelling of the name Oppenheimer. I just watched it. I have mixed feelings about it. It was very, very good, but there is also a lot to say to the negative. But also, it's not just about the movie itself. It's topically what the movie addresses in war, in the weaponization of our nations, nuclear threats. There's a lot to get into today from a Catholic perspective because your boy's Catholic, and that's what we're going to do today. All right, but besides the topic of Oppenheimer, we have a few other things we're going to get into as well.
true.
And I'm excited about it. Let us know in the comments, where are you tuning in from? I see we have some viewers on Facebook, some viewers on YouTube. Let us know where you are tuning in from, who you are.
Who are you?
What did you think? If you got to see Oppenheimer, let us know.
An article I read nicknamed him Opie. So
Opie.
I think from this point on, I think we
Oppenheimer.
probably could just do Opie
I
if
will-
you guys wanted to.
I will say, for the record, that the automatic Facebook subtitles, both pronunciations of Oppenheimer, it's spelled
It
the
says
exact
it's-
same
okay,
name.
all right,
So maybe
okay,
they're
so
both
maybe it
valid. We have
doesn't
Amanda
matter.
Sheffield tuning in from New Hampshire. Welcome, Amanda, to the Nick De La Torre show.
New Hampshire.
Amanda, have you watched Opie?
Yeah, there you go. Hey,
Have you
guys
watched
are joking
Oppenheimer?
About it, but I think it's a valid nickname for a guy who helped
Yeah.
murder thousands.
Deb Gruen is watching. Deb, let us know if
Yo,
you've watched
Deb.
Oppenheimer. It's a very divisive
I've never
movie.
seen it.
Okay, I was going
Probably
to ask
never
that
will.
too. So you didn't go and see it?
No, Nick went with his
Okay.
cousin instead of me.
Okay.
Wow.
It's fine.
I don't
I'm
really
not
think
bitter.
you would have wanted to see some parts of it.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Yeah, Alina would have gotten
talk
all
about that
all
later.
feisty,
So-
rightfully. Rightfully. We'll get into it. Okay.
I am very feisty.
I want to mention at the top here, before we get into the discussion, that we have an awesome event coming up with Deacon Harold Burke-Sivers on August
Yay.
19th. And these events are some of the few ways in which we try to support the mission of Awakened Catholic and all the media we produce and stuff. So yes, it is a ticketed event, but more importantly than you giving us your money to come is you coming. So if you want to come but you can't afford a ticket, send an email to support@awakenedcatholic.org and we will comp your ticket because we would just love to have you here. But if you can pay for a ticket, please do because we need the help. That's one of the ways we fund this ministry. All right, Ethan, what are we talking about today?
Well, so hold on.
What's
there,
the first
Jethro.
topic?
I had the pleasure of looking at political stuff because I don't really do that on a typical basis because I don't like to go into this stuff. My
Okay.
dad watches it all the time. So, anyways, I'm trying to find stuff, and so we'll just watch this, and you'll get to see kind of what I'm going to talk about and why I'm upset and
All
things
right.
like that. So, let us go. Holding on before I can share the screen here. Hold on.
I am bracing
I
for
know
dear
you are.
life.
You
I'm
are.
so scared.
You
Just
should
from the
be.
title on this video.
Yeah, just wait.
gosh.
Okay, all right. I think that we're ready, so here we go.
All right.
On a path to finishing the NDA. There's been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
Ay, ay, ay.
Oh, Mitch.
Pobrecito.
Oh, Mitch.
Yeah. Just makes you feel
Is he
bad.
having a stroke?
No.
He's a Republican.
I'll explain a little bit here. Hold
Yeah.
on.
Oh,
He
man.
looks so sad. What's wrong with him?
This looks to me like an ocular seizure.
I mean, it could be. I mean, he said later that he was fine.
Sure.
I don't know. I didn't look too far into it.
Go ahead.
But
Ugh.
Okay.
yeah.
Poor
So obviously
guy.
he gets escorted off. And,
Jeez, oh, Pete.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, what I was going to ask about. So this fine gentleman is 81 years old.
Yeah.
Oof.
Um,
Wowie.
And he had fallen several times this year. That is what it happened. Is apparently he had a concussion. He suffered concussion from falling. And so I mean, I know I've seen memes about Biden falling up the stairs and falling down the stairs of the airplane and things like that. So my
Biden.
question is why are there no term limits? Because at this point, like, and Colleen brought up a great point, because at one point we were all rooting for RFK Jr. But he is
No.
even older than Biden. We were at one point, but not anymore. But
Good job.
And I will clarify further that I was rooting for him until I discovered his abortion policies.
He's a Democrat. He'll put. Listen.
No,
I'm not
neither
gonna be
party
politically correct here.
is like,
Republicans are the lesser of evils.
well, just from specifically the abortion standpoint.
No, for most of
But
everything.
anyways,
I'm a Republican.
the point of this is simply that
also, you can't put your hand up. You're putting it right in front of your wife.
oh
What are you
no,
doing? Wow.
how could I dare to cover such a
He's
beautiful
ashamed
face?
of my Republicanness.
Austin Mass says, plus he's only 5'9". He shouldn't be allowed to hold office.
I'm putting that on.
Oh my
screen.
gosh, Austin, you're the
That's
best.
good.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
man.
Yeah, so I think your question about term limits, I think there's a bigger question than term limits, because there are people that into a much older age than even Mitch McConnell are like incredibly functional.
Yeah.
And provide so much value because of their wisdom and their various areas of expertise, whatever it is. And it would be a real shame for something as arbitrary as an age limit or a term limit or whatever to get in the way of the ways in which society could be
Maybe
benefited
they have
by
to
that.
take like a little
Cognitive
test
test.
or
Yes,
something.
that's exactly what I was going to say.
Like a
is that
driver's ed
I'm a
test,
lot
but for
more
your brain.
interested in health and wellness tests and cognition
Yeah,
tests.
that makes sense.
That's a lot more interesting, because this is the kind of thing, like, dude, if you've had, what did you say, he's fallen 2 times, or he had 2 strokes?
Several
or
times.
Several
He's fallen
times?
several times, and one of them resulted in a concussion.
Yeah.
Poor
that was the most
dude.
recent
He
one.
doesn't
Yeah.
look like he's doing too hot.
Yeah, not to mention, like, if you're creepy, that should also just disqualify
Just be a
you.
factor,
I mean,
just like,
if
you
you,
know,
and
if-
I'm not talking specifics here, okay? But let's just say in some hypothetical world, we had a politician that could not help but to awkwardly grab and stroke children and smell their hair.
Oh no, you're talking about our president.
No. I'm speaking hypothetically. If there should be a creepiness test that right along with that cognitive test that helps us to be protected from
There are
having
so
creepy
many
leaders.
tests
I
that should
agree.
be run for these people. Moral
Deb
tests.
Gruen says that she has not seen Opie, and I love how she spelled it like that, Opie.
Hey, you know what?
Um,
we take anything.
But she has seen Barbie.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
Curious
almost feel like
about
we
that.
need to do a
I
whole
wonder
episode
what
just on
she.
Barbie.
What did you think of
true.
that?
Yeah, let us know in the comments, Deb, what you thought about Barbie, because there's
Ben
a whole lot of
Shapiro
heat.
hates it.
Yeah, there's a lot of heat on the internet about that movie right now. Let us know the Deb Gruen review in the
Ooh,
comments.
I like that.
Yes, that should become a segment of the Nick De La Torre show, the Deb Gruen review.
Oh my gosh.
All right, yeah. So that's what I think. I
Okay.
think when people are in leadership, and it's not just about political leadership. Like this should be true for the pastor of a parish, for bishops, for once you're a priest, you're always a priest, and once you're a bishop, you're always a bishop. But your capacity to lead and run
Well,
an
it's just a
organization.
shame that people aren't more self-aware. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't walk anymore. Oh, I'm falling asleep while I'm standing.
Yeah.
Maybe I should not be doing
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But then we have examples like our beloved Pope St. John Paul II,
Don't even get me started.
who just to his dying day, that dude went hard. That dude was ministering the crap out of this church all the way through, however many years of
Papacy.
well, no, yeah, but I was gonna refer to the illness that he had, which is
That's true, but that's different.
what is it
That's
called?
like Holy Spirit
it's
ordained.
what Michael J. Fox has from Back to the
Yeah,
Future.
I still
cerebral
don't
palsy?
know.
No.
Nope.
It's where
I
you
couldn't tell ya.
you lose.
I know what you're talking about.
What is it called?
I don't. Do you? I'll look it up.
I'm having the biggest brain fart in the world right now.
Michael.
I have always actually had. This is like an inside door into Nick's soul. I've told Alina this
Yes.
numerous times. I
He's
have
very worried
always
about this.
had the weirdest phobia of one day
Parkinson's.
coming down with
Parkinson.
Parkinson's.
I knew it was a P.
Okay.
I don't know why. Of all the things I could be afraid of in life, that's the one thing that
Parkinson's?
really kills me. Yeah.
Really?
Anytime I think about it, I start to get all freaked out and wonder, does this little twitch mean I have Parkinson's? You know, like,
I mean, you know, there's a lot of other like body rendering useless.
Oh, I'm aware.
Okay.
Car
I'm aware.
accidents.
Yeah. Well,
Falling off
like
a
other
ladder,
diseases
getting
too. Like it's
paralyzed.
not just Parkinson's. So.
Yes, I'm fully aware that there are much worse things, but that is the thing that ever since I was a kid, and it might be because of Michael J. Fox that I developed,
Interesting.
because I loved him so much in Back to the Future, and then when I
Oh,
saw him
yeah.
once on an interview on TV,
And
You
how
were
much different he
traumatized.
I was
Yeah.
just wrecked. Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the next topic.
Yes, this one is the one that you're more excited for.
Wait, let us know in the comments, what is your biggest fear?
Ugh.
Mine used to be thunderstorms.
Thunderstorms.
love
What
thunderstorms.
specifically about thunderstorms were you afraid of?
So the house that we live in is super sound from the 70s, but it lost power frequently back in when I was young. So anytime a thunderstorm happened, I would be terrified because I was terrified of the lights going out. So it was it was less so of the thunderstorms, more so of the power going
So
out.
you're scared of
Baby,
the dark.
when the lights go out,
Ah.
Ethan is gonna be so scared. He's gonna be so scared.
Not anymore though. I don't think so. Cause like, what was it like?
Let's turn off
yesterday?
all the lights and find out if he's still scared.
The lights. I can't hear you. Okay.
Deb Grew. Wait, we got the Deb Gruen review
yeah? Okay,
of
all right.
Barbie. She
Yeah,
said, "I
Barbie.
thought it was funny, but I think there's a lot of hidden messages that I missed. I will have to see it again."
Well, okay.
Those
Hidden
subliminal
messages doesn't
messages.
suggest like bad things. I don't know.
Well, I haven't seen it.
I couldn't tell.
I won't give you a
I
third-hand
know-
review.
I know that Ryan Gosling has what the male character in Frozen 2 does. He has a whole song. He has a serenade.
Yeah.
So, so that's kind of interesting to me. You know, seeing Ryan sing again after La La Land.
Deb says, "Sorry, I am a senior texting." What are
Nice.
you talking about,
Nice.
Deb?
There's
You are
nothing to be
not.
apologizing
Whatever.
for. It's okay.
Age is all a mindset.
It's true. It's
All
true.
right. What is this
All
next
right.
thing? We got Lila
Yes.
Rose.
Here we go. I'm just gonna maybe hold on, wait for it.
I just want to say before we get into
Yeah.
it,
Mhm.
if you don't know who Lila Rose is,
She's epic.
She is such a champion. You got to check out her show. You got to look her up, and she's been a guest on a lot of other shows, including some very controversial shows. And she stands her ground and defends the Catholic faith with such beauty, such elegance in the way she articulates things, where it's like gentle and she acknowledges the human condition. Her interview, for example, on the Whatever podcast was awesome. Check it out.
I was specifically upset to find that I could not find this episode. The podcast itself was not on Spotify, so I couldn't listen to it
Okay.
later. But that was besides the point. So, Lila, if you're listening, please put
yeah.
this on Spotify because I will listen anyways. Because this is a really good episode actually. The
Yeah.
clip that we're taking from it does not do this episode justice.
And I also want to toss out there, because we're still working out the kinks and figuring out our
True.
flow doing this stuff. When we go to this clip, let's kind of go back and forth between the full screen and the wide shot
yes, I know what you're talking
intermixed.
about. Yes, I will try. I will do my best.
You're so beautiful, Ethan.
Yes, thank you. Anyways, all right, here we go. We're playing it.
Women now.
Yeah.
Advice for women, because on the flip side, you have women who, and I know many of these women, and they're beautiful women.
Yeah.
They're living lives of chastity. They're trying to seek the kingdom first and doing amazing work for God. And they're really struggling trying to find
Yeah.
that man.
Yeah, it's a white martyrdom. It really is.
Oh,
and
Jason
you've
Everett.
got to look at it throughout that heroic lens that you're saying, God, I know if I wanted what I want bad enough, I could go get it against your will. And what I want, as I mentioned with the guys, it's not a bad thing. I'm not wanting to go clubbing and go do this and that. I just want a husband, and I just want a little baby, and I just want to raise a holy little family. And that's half of the cross is the mystery of it all. Of just like, yeah, I know I'm feeling all this hurt, but when's it going to end? You know, is tomorrow the day? And what I would challenge that girl is just, to don't lower your standards for the opportunity to hope you can fix a guy and rehabilitate a guy and change the guy. Only date or marry someone hoping they're going to stay the way they are for good. Otherwise, you're dating your imagination. You're dating a project. It's almost like a home makeover TV show kind of thing where she's, you know, they fall in love with this kind of rundown property because they see the potential in it. And so women date like that, this missionary dating thing, that if he was a house, he'd be like some dilapidated, haunted crack house in Detroit. And she's thinking, oh, but we could put a swimming pool out back. I'll get some curtains.
And you're like, where's the budget for this anyway?
It's blown, You know, so don't date like that. You know, so if you're content, just basically look, okay.
Well, if there's just dilapidated houses everywhere, what do you do?
Yeah,
right? But
well,
you're saying don't settle.
Yeah.
Despite the ache, don't settle.
Yeah, just look at the qualities you have. And if you're content with none of that changing 10 years from now, then it's probably a good marriage decision. But if you know you would not be content, if this stuff was still on the radar 10 years from now, don't go down that road. You can focus on the friendship and maybe he'll change over time, but don't enter into romantic relationships hoping you can kind of rehabilitate a troubled guy. And so trying to keep those standards high as heaven. Because what I say is, look, I know it's hard to be disappointed in some guys, but it's much better to be disappointed in some guys than to be disappointed in yourself for settling for a guy who's half the man that you deserve. Because there's one thing more lonely than waiting for marriage, and it's being in the wrong marriage. I always wonder, what if I had held out a little bit longer?
I'm just going to stop it there. I mean, we could keep going, but it just,
Snaps.
I mean, I mean, so Nick, I'm very curious. What are your thoughts first?
Number one, Jason Everett is such a G.
I know,
the
right,
dude is so good at words, and he just comes up with these glorious one-liners, and
and analogies.
He just rips them out like nothing.
Man.
Alina, before I share my thoughts, I want to know your thoughts.
My thoughts. Well, I've been there, done that.
What?
Just kidding. Okay.
What?
Okay. So
Oh my god.
you weren't the same person when we
Yeah.
started dating.
Accurate.
Like,
this is true.
if the same you, like, well, not the same you, because your daughter would never date you, but like if a dude dated your daughter that was like you, you wouldn't let it happen. Like, you would
Accurate.
be like, go away.
Yes.
You're not good enough.
Correct.
But there was something, I've always been told all my life, never date someone you wouldn't mate, number one. Number two, never date to change someone.
Yeah.
So I knew that going into my relationship with you. My only other quote-unquote serious child relationship was I broke up with him because I was like, I can't marry you, never will, so bye.
Yeah.
And then you, though, you were Catholic, which I was very Protestant, so I was like, this is naughty. I can't do this.
This is a no-no.
I was Protestant. You were super well, you were iffy Catholic, but I was like, oh, he'll be easy to convert, you know.
And I was, and I did.
Well, yes, but you were also just, your morals were not totally up to snuff.
No, it was no bueno. Yeah.
But I don't know, like, God writes straight with our crooked lines. So there was something about you that was just like so good, despite all of your less than great attributes when we were dating. But I saw this goodness, this just selfless love, even when you were not perfect, you know. And we dated for 7 long years. So there were times, you know, we broke up a ton, but I wouldn't recommend it. But also, like, if the Holy Spirit is like, you just can't get over this person, I like what he said about staying friends. Like, keep it pure, keep it, like, friendly. I know that's not easy to do, especially, like, when you really love someone. Ooh.
Well, and that's a big
microphone in my
reason
face.
that I am an opponent of the idea that we should have long dating relationships.
What?
I don't
you said
think
not to.
we should have
Oh,
long
you
dating.
don't think. Yes.
Because I think that you're just asking for trouble. Like, you're asking for there to be a bigger challenge.
Right.
And I don't think we're putting marriage off so far into life now. Like, I just did an interview on the Awakened Catholic show that we're releasing at the top of this coming week with Kelly Gherkin, and she's the president of the Sufficient Grace Ministries. And we had this conversation because she got married very young, like 18 young.
Oh, wow. Can you imagine if we had gotten married that young, though?
I do sometimes.
We would have murdered each other.
Well, but maybe not. I don't know.
I would have murdered you.
But to me, the point though is that like we're putting marriage off. This is what I told her. We're putting marriage off until we're ready to get a divorce, right? So we're encouraging our young people, don't get married until you can stand on your own 2 feet in case you get a divorce. Now, obviously, we're not using those words, but that's essentially what we're saying when we say wait till you're done with college to get married. When we say wait till you have a career to get married. Wait till you're financially stable and independent to get married. Why not journey through some of those challenging years married together, committed to each other, supporting each other through that? But the story you just laid out about our dating relationship,
break the mold.
we definitely did. And I don't recommend it to anyone, but I will say we were still in some way in keeping with what Jason Everett's talking about.
We would never, the whole in 10 years, are they going to drive you nuts within 10 years of being with that person? I loved you the minute I met you. I was like, he is the one.
Stop.
Like, your personality was just fire.
Gosh.
Your morals were less than awesome.
Ethan, we should have her on the show more often.
Well, who knows?
Let us know in the comments. Do you want Alina on the show more often?
No.
I know I do.
I'm just here to heckle Nick. I am the official heckle fish.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
I know nothing about theology, nothing about life, but I am definitely a fan of heckling Nick. So,
Well, but what I was thinking in terms of our story and connecting it to this is that we didn't get married until we were both on track to become the better versions of ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, if neither of us had changed at all from the moment we got married, we were at least the best versions of ourselves then that we had been up to that point. I think. I'll speak for myself. Like, I had majorly converted to faith and allowed God to do a ton of huge work in my heart and in healing wounds for me and stuff.
Yeah.
And we didn't get married until that was there.
Yes. I think the last breakup after that, it was like a year of dating, and then we were a year engaged. That was, to me, like our real courtship.
Yeah.
Everything else before that was us being stupid
idiots.
kids
Yeah.
and trying to figure out our lives. But,
Accurate.
But personality-wise, like, if you can't talk politics, if you can't talk religion and learn from each other and be willing to change, like, there's some people I know right now that they just married and they can't talk politics, they can't talk religion, and it's stagnant. There's no growth happening.
Yep.
You've got to be able
actually,
to grow.
what Jason said about being lonely in being married
Yes.
to someone
Oh,
that
my heart. That
this
just
person that Alina's talking about
breaks.
literally just told us recently that he feels alone.
Yeah. So be very careful who you choose.
Yeah.
And don't be desperate.
Amen.
I want to put 2 cents in.
Give
Let's
us
hear
your
it, Ethan.
money.
I, as a single young person,
Oh, yes.
I think that this is a very hard topic. I think that, like, as myself, who is not a perfect man, who does have problems, any girl that might see me, might only see those problems and not what could be there, right? So I think that, like, I think what you guys are saying, like saying journeying together, is a really good part of it. Yeah, I
Yes.
absolutely agree. And
Yeah.
that's why I think that some of what he was saying was flawed, at least in my opinion, because
I see what you're saying.
like, because to assume you're going to find a saint right away, we're all
Yes.
sinners, right? If that's true, if we're all broken, then you can't, like, I'll hold out. I'll continue to hold out for the rest of my life. And, if it never happens, it'll never
Sure.
happen. But, what if God's saying, like, maybe this person, she might not be perfect, but like, you're not either. And so to, acknowledge that and to, like you said, journey together instead of, dating for, 10 years and then, hating each other. But then, so this is the other problem with this is that, marriage nowadays is not nearly as big of a deal as it is. It is a sacrament, right? But people don't really believe that anymore.
Yeah.
People don't even know what marriage is anymore. Kissing kissing is like, that's what I do every day with my, significant other. I don't, because I don't have one. But
We take it for granted.
in the times that we are in,
Taken
yes,
lightly.
people take these things for granted, And so, like, what you're saying, like, like marriage is important. Like, you should, it should be a table stone. I can't think of cobblestone. I don't know. Cornerstone, sure.
Of society.
But yeah, but
Cobblestone.
instead, where am I in Minecraft? Anyways, yeah. So I just think that I think that yes, you should not lower your standards and date a Nick 20 years ago, but you did. And like you said, God writes straight, right?
He does.
So
Yes.
so thanks be to God that you guys did end up dating and getting together, because now you have 4 beautiful kids. And if you guys had just if Alina had waited for the perfect guy, well, who knows, it could have never came, and those 4 beautiful kids never could have
Perfection
existed.
is boring.
Right? And that's kind of I guess that's my point, is that like
Yeah, I think that. So first of all, thank you for sharing all that, Ethan.
Very good points.
I think that there's a lot of validity in what you're sharing and the real experience of it. I think there's a both and here.
I agree.
I think that there are truths in what Jason said and in what you
yes
said
and.
that do not conflict with each other explicitly.
I agree.
So I think that there's value in. We're living in a world, Jason is speaking into a world where there are just no expectations, no standards. There's the hookup culture. There's a lot that he is trying to say there's a better way.
Right.
And then on the flip side of it, I totally see what you're talking about, and I get it. And you're not unique in the way that you feel and your experience of all this. Like, I know that there are men out there that are struggling with some of the same feelings and would feel similarly having heard what Jason just said.
Right. And the worst part is like I love Jason, and like I owe half of my Catholicism to him.
Oh, half
so
of it. Okay.
yeah. I mean, the other half is Father Jeff Walker. Anyways, but like I think that like. Right, I think you're right. It's a yes and. It's like what is it? What's the yes and a part of? I can't think of what it is. But anyways.
So to put a bow on that, the reason I think it's a yes and or a both and whatever is that well, it's not a yes or no question, right? So it's two options.
But I'm just trying to. It's the joke of the. I can't think of the when you're acting, but it's off the cuff.
Yeah,
it's the yes and
impromptu.
Impromptu. Yeah, or
no, not impromptu.
Improv.
There it is.
Yes,
we found it.
Thank you. Okay. Improv is
the
yes
improv
and.
term.
So that's why I wanted to make a joke.
Yes,
and. Yes and. Right. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
But to me, the both and in this is that women and men both need to have high standards of who they're going to tie themselves to for the rest of their lives.
Correct. And the family.
And the families of those people, absolutely. Yeah. But coming from your angle, I agree. We also need to understand, like what Christopher West talks about and talked about on the episode that we did of the Awakened Catholic show with him, that your spouse is not your ultimate fulfillment.
Absolutely.
No.
And we also see, so on the one hand, our society has this crazy hookup culture, no standards, blah blah blah, and then on the other side of the same coin, our culture is like marry the perfect person, and that's what's going to make you happy and whatever, and it doesn't exist. And so I think that's kind of what you're getting at is like your only option is to marry someone imperfect, because that's all there is. So, and I think that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And I think Jason's challenge on the other side of this is from the personal standpoint, it's like become the person that you want your future spouse to marry, right? Like make yourself a gift. Yeah. It's one of those things. It's like when we got married on our wedding day, I was standing at the altar watching her come to me, and like what a beautiful and amazing moment. And it was, and like I was getting teary-eyed, she was weeping,
I was sobbing.
But there was this part of me that was like really torn about the idea that like I can't give her all of myself because of my mistakes. I'm giving her like a wounded and I hated that feeling. And I think what Jason's getting at is like, yes, everyone sins. Yes, everyone is imperfect. But the call of the gospel, the call of Christ in the gospel is to strive towards perfection. And like, when he says, be perfect like my heavenly Father is perfect, it's not just teasing us like Martin Luther implied. It's an invitation to begin this path towards sanctification and a lifetime of improvement. And so it's like, don't settle, like this in society today. It's like masturbation is just part of existence. Pornography is just part of existence. And Jason is saying, no, don't be okay with that.
Yeah.
Don't hate yourself if you commit sin. Hate the sin that you've committed. Go to confession and repent. But don't just settle into this, like, this is just part of what being a man looks like in 2023, and this is the best that my wife's going to get.
Right.
Right? So that's the both and to me.
Yes, I would agree with you.
Beautiful.
I like everything that you said.
Oh, I like everything you say, Ethan.
Wow.
I mean, you should just leave.
Oh, my
I'm
gosh.
gonna go now.
No.
I'm gonna go eat some ice cream.
Oh, my gosh.
Actually, it sounds really good.
Well, that's good.
I'm convinced.
We should make these ice cream live streams.
Ooh,
Oh, there
yes.
we go.
Ooh, there's a rhyme in there. Ice cream live stream.
Oh yeah.
Magic. It's magic. All right, what's next? So we're going to get into Oppenheimer now. We're going to talk
you're right.
about just war theory, Catholic morality, and how to see war through that, and nuclear weaponization, all this stuff. But before we do that, I just got to tell you that everything that we do here, we do these live streams, we produce content, we produce media, and we make it all freely available to the world. And right now, we're getting north of 2.2 million streams per month across all of our shows, across all of the
Woohoo.
platforms.
That's awesome.
It is awesome, and it's global. Like, we're reaching people all over the world. And then it's also great, like, between our media and the events that we put on here in Awaken Theater, we're reaching our local audience here within the Diocese of Toledo and anyone that's in driving distance. So we have this really cool local reach. We have this amazing global reach, and we're reaching these millions of people. And it's so beautiful, the messages that we get. We just recently had to cancel 2 of our shows, Awaken the Word and Awaken the Saint, and we've gotten so many nice messages of people saying, like, where did it go? You got me hooked on it, and then it stopped. And these are real messages we've gotten. And the reality is that God is doing incredible things through this ministry, but we need help.
Yes.
We really, really need your help to keep doing this. And so the reason we had to cut those 2 shows is because we just couldn't afford to keep it running. And when we cut those shows, it was coupled with us also laying off half of our staff. And that was one of the worst things I've ever had to do in my life. It was awful to have those meetings because the team here at Awaken has really become a family. So I just want to invite you, if you feel stirring in your heart to contribute to what's making it possible for us to do all of this stuff, by making a one-time contribution, or even better, joining the Awaken Nation, which is just to say making a monthly contribution that's automated. Visit awakencatholic.church/donate. And join the mission, become a part of what makes this all possible. We really, really need your help. The people that we had to lay off, they are still on deck. They want to come back, all of them. And we would love to be able to rehire them and to continue to do what we do, keep the lights on, keep the cameras rolling. So awakencatholic.church/donate to join us in the mission.
You mean .org?
I think either one goes to the same place.
Okay, because the banner that you're
Oh, okay.
to,
Yeah, awakencatholic.org/donate. Same thing. It goes to the same place. So, okay. Oppenheimer.
It's true.
Opie.
What's next?
Just in case anyone's tuning in now that wasn't here earlier, I am Latino. Don't expect me to say these Germanic words correctly. Or
like Amos.
Or I don't even know. Is Oppenheimer German?
Amos?
It sounds German. Like, the man himself was
It's
Jewish.
He's Jewish. I couldn't tell you what his.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing? All of our kids are here,
It's true.
and we don't hear any
It's
crying or
true.
Well,
screaming.
I wonder if your mom's watching them in the office.
Oh, okay. My
Should I
mom
go
might be
check
fine.
on them?
Nah. It's
Okay.
okay. You'll get trapped.
All right.
All right. What do we got here, Ethan? Let's talk about this.
Well, I didn't actually do much prep for this part because I was gonna let you lead.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the stuff I grabbed I've thrown onto the outline for us to talk about.
Love it.
But yeah, I mean, we could first kind of thing we were going to jump into was like, what did you think, Nick? How did you feel?
What do you think,
Were
Nick?
you
How do you
disgusted by
feel?
all those moments that we'll talk about right now?
Sexy moments.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, if you don't know, the movie is about this man. I think his first name is Robert Oppenheimer.
Julius Robert Oppenheimer.
Julius. I
Robert.
like that
Okay,
name.
that's a great name. Those parents did a good job naming him. Anyways, he is a Jewish guy, a Jewish American that.
And yeah, he is American. He was born in New York City on
Yeah.
April 22nd.
Right. Way to go. See, I didn't really prep for this, Nick, because over here giving us the full biographical
I'm
data.
looking at his Wikipedia. It's fine. It's fine.
So, anyways, he is just this cutting edge scientist who learned a lot about what was it? Nuclear. He learned. Oh, it was
Hydrogen.
no.
Atomic.
What is the term? Meta. Not meta.
Metaphysics.
Nope. It was whatever it was.
Did they say it in the movie?
Yeah, but he learned
Okay.
science.
Uh-huh.
Listen, I'm just a guy that loves our blessed Lord and loves talking about him and helping other people love him too. So, forgive me for the word department today.
Yeah, come on. What the heck?
Anyway, he learned a bunch of cutting edge science in Europe that wasn't being navigated here in the United States at all. He literally brought that
Were
science.
you talking about mineralogy?
Nope.
Is that what it was?
Never heard of that.
Okay.
Mineralogy. Did you just make that up?
No, he was a versatile scholar interested in English and French literature, and particularly in mineralogy.
The French.
Mineralogy. I am not making this up. It is simply on his Wikipedia, and I trust Wikipedia. I know people don't, but I do. So
Okay.
take that.
Well, anyways, he brought all this science to the United States. Everyone here was ignoring it. People in Europe were going bonkers over it, so he joined the party. And he ends up leading the charge to create, it was like this race across the world. The Nazis were racing, the Russians, and we were racing to hack this code to figure out how to make an atomic bomb. And it was a race because whoever did it first basically wins everything. And we didn't want the Nazis to figure that out. We
Heck no.
didn't want them to win.
It's true.
But the problem is that as you go through the movie and he starts, because initially what he's researching and studying is not explicitly about building a weapon. And when they have this great epiphany moment, it turns into this conversation surrounding turning it into a weapon. And from that point on, you see this real internal conflict in him, and it's a big part of the plot too of navigating this conflict of like, should we even do this?
Yeah.
But in a very real way, if we don't do it, they will.
Right.
And if
Yeah.
they do, then what? So it was like, we're
have
you
no
know,
mercy.
this is only going to lead to misery, but at the same time, like, it should be figured out by us first, because the misery would be different, bigger, greater, more awful if it was the Nazis.
Right.
So I totally get it.
Yeah.
But the conflict is a very Catholic conflict, actually. So the church actually has a lot to say about war, and I think that the conflict that he's navigating in the movie, which I think, from what I've come to understand, they did a very, very good job, like truly representing accurately his navigating through all of that. So in the Catechism, just trying to find the right page here.
Wow.
Okay. In the Catechism, there's a lot the Catechism says about it, but there is a general sentiment of avoiding war. And literally there's a heading, avoiding war, safeguarding peace. And so one of the things that we have to figure out how to navigate as citizens and as Christians, as Catholics, is like having a consistent pro-life ethic. So a lot of us like throw our fists into the air, chanting in favor of pro-life when it comes to the topic of abortion. But we're very quick to jump on the bandwagon of let's go to war for this reason or that reason. Let's have, let's be the biggest badasses in the war, the weaponization front and stuff. And basically the church is like saying, no, let's not do that. And nobody should do that. Now, I want to read, there's a few points here on the specific parameters for what creates moral legitimacy for just war. Okay, this is from paragraph 2309 in the Catechism. The damage inflicted by the aggressor on the nation or community of nations must be lasting, grave, and certain. All other means of putting an end to it must have been shown to be impractical or ineffective. There must be serious prospects of success. The use of arms must not produce evils and disorders graver than the evil to be eliminated.
Ooh.
And the power of modern means of destruction weighs very heavily in evaluating this condition. So that's kind of, everyone kind of wonders, like, what does the church say about war? What makes a just war? The Catechism outlines it very specifically here. And then it kind of goes into explaining it a little bit further. But one of the things that to me stood out as I was reading these passages, paragraph 2314 says the following. Every act of war directed to the indiscriminate destruction of whole cities or vast areas with their inhabitants is a crime against God and man, which merits firm and unequivocal condemnation. A danger of modern warfare is that it provides the opportunity to those who possess modern scientific weapons, especially atomic, biological, or chemical weapons, to commit such crimes. So that's very black and white, like the use of atom bombs on innocent civilization, innocent cities, innocent people, innocent bystanders, is just absolutely, unequivocally, whatever, wrong,
Yes.
just wrong.
It's wrong.
And there's no defense for it. And you know, you'll hear people say like, well, if we hadn't done that, then the Japanese would have won the war, or they wouldn't have backed down, and more lives. We saved more lives than we killed. The church is saying, no, you killed innocent people. You didn't kill the aggressors. You killed innocent people.
Yeah.
Now, this is evil, and you know, essentially, they were killed on the altar of us proving our strength.
Yep.
So essentially, we became immorally bullies in that moment.
Yep.
And in a very real sense, terrorists.
Yeah.
Now, there's a great quote from Fulton Sheen. Is that a slide? That
I
we
did
can pull
not
up,
make
or?
a slide,
Okay.
unfortunately.
So
I didn't find the exact one.
it's fine. So Archbishop Fulton Sheen said, "We blotted out boundaries. There was no longer a boundary between the civilian and the military, between the helper and the helped, between the wounded and the nurse and the doctor, between the living and the dead. For even the living who escaped the bomb were already half dead. So we broke down boundaries and limits, and from that time on, the world has said, we want no one limiting me." And so, yeah. So we essentially like became gods, essentially. Like we have the power of, you know, you just imagine Zeus with his bolts of lightning striking someone down, or
What was that last part about not being limited? Could you read that again?
yeah. He says, we broke down boundaries and limits, and from that time on, the world has said, we want no one limiting me.
And that has shown in every aspect of culture now.
Yep.
Ever since that, it's like a dam of just crazy crap has happened. Like, you got the feminist movement, you got the birth control, all that stuff. Like, it's just all nuts.
Everything that we
And
saw in Humanae Vitae was
the
prophesied.
pure,
Yeah.
not that people were always super moral, but like this is not a good idea, just went out the window.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can't tell us what to do.
Yeah, we basically
Right.
lost rational
Yeah,
thought
it's-
as societies.
Very sad.
It is super sad. And then there's another quote. I wish I had the exact quote, but I think it was also Archbishop Fulton Sheen. And he said something to the effect of, it was in the dropping of the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki that the United States lost
Yeah.
favor with God.
It's probably true.
And it's like, how can you imply whatsoever that it's not true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Austin Mass says, don't join the military. No matter how many times you watch Top Gun Maverick, it's extremely difficult to act morally. We haven't fought a just war in a long time. Austin, yes, I totally agree with
Yep.
you. You know, there's a nobility in the desire to serve God and country, and to serve in the military. There's certainly bravery there, and a noble desire
For sure.
to serve God and country. But the position that our government has put us in is just such a crock of horse fecal
you're
matter.
seeing that in the way that the army and the troops, like, I have a friend who is in it, and there's no morale.
Yeah,
They have stopped believing in our leadership, and
yeah,
they're like, why are we doing this? It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. None of it makes sense.
yeah. And there's like an excitement to deploy from one of the people that.
Yes, yeah, but that's just psychotic.
Well, yeah, but hello, that's like a microcosm of the macro issue of the psychotic nature of our military right now, and our
Right.
government in general.
Yes.
Like, he literally wants to deploy so that he can see some action.
Right.
Yep.
That's awful.
It is awful.
I was this close to taking a snippet from the Halo episode that me and Mike did, because we kind of talked about this and how, like, genocide is not a great thing, and like especially in the military, you can become disposable. You can become a piece in the machine. And especially soldiers, like those are the ones that always get forgotten.
Yep.
And so like to want to go to war, like that was why reading this stuff, like Sheen was totally right. Like we have lost the ability to divide ourselves, right? Like we are, by doing this, right, even though it wasn't done by us specifically, like we live in the nation that did it.
I know it was you, Ethan.
Oh, I know, right?
You pushed
I pressed
button.
the button. But yeah, it's just it's just depressing.
And this is one of those topics that for me is
There's my
like
baby.
a linchpin. Like this is to me the reason that I cannot identify as Republican or Democrat.
I'm a Republican.
I understand, but let me explain. I cannot, because I will not ever identify as Democrat until the Democratic Party's stances on life issues change, such as abortion, euthanasia, all that kind of
Stop
stuff.
being
They're just
liberal.
hurling us towards some
Leftist.
crazy, like, Old Testament civilization where they're sacrificing children to the pagan god Baal, and like that's essentially what they're doing in a much more elegant, modern version of that barbarism. And I will not ever stand by that. There's a lot about the general sentiment, not of the Democratic Party, but of people I know who are Democrats. There are sentiments that I really see legitimacy in, and a desire to love neighbor well. I don't see that in our Democratic politicians. I see that in our Democratic friends and neighbors who are Democrats because they want to love their neighbor well.
Right.
I will never identify as a Republican because the Republican Party has repeatedly pulled us into these crazy wars that are not just wars. There's an obsession with this warmongering and the crazy industry of I forget what the term is, the military industrial complex. I forget what the term is, where they like sell weapons and ammunition and stuff, and like it's just such a huge
They're
industry.
very mercenary. The Republicans are very mercenary. So.
Well, and on in their own way, a disregard for human life, because they'll put money and oil and all these things ahead of the prioritization of human life.
Right.
And so both sides of our political bipartisan system represent inherently anti-Catholic, anti-God, anti-natural law political stances and legislations and whatever.
I am a monarchist from now on. Just let's make me queen, and then everything will be better.
Okay.
You're joking, but like,
No,
honest,
I'm not.
like
Monarchy is actually the purest
it's
form
true.
of government.
Yes, it is. It is indeed
I'm
the purest
serious.
form of
I
government.
learned
yes.
that, and that's the only thing I learned in college. It's the only thing I took away and was like, this is important knowledge.
Problem is you have to have a leader that isn't corrupt, which
Austin, Alina,
Why? Do
not
you believe
corrupt.
it? Ethan.
Yeah, totally. Austin Mass says, "Hail Alfred the Great."
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
was
gosh.
Was that a previous king? Possibly.
No, I think Austin. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Alfred the Great? Isn't he the guy that like put heads on pikes and
Oh
stuff?
jeez.
No.
Who I remember he said this another time, and I asked him, and I think that's what he told me.
Okay.
That's
Um,
funny.
But anyways, yeah. So that's kind of that's what the church has to say about it in the Catechism. Oh, I'm thinking of Vlad the Impaler,
Vlad.
another
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
that
yeah,
Austin
That's true.
is constantly talking about.
Which party do you think the Freemasons would be hiding in? Most
Both.
likely.
Yeah,
Both.
Absolutely.
Absolutely
I was
both.
thinking
It's like the
they'd be more
Scrolls.
Republican.
They're playing games with us, man. The government's playing games. The
Freemasons.
Masons are playing games.
Trying to divide us.
Yeah.
Into
Nasty.
parties.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why division is always like, I'm Republican. No, I'm Democrat. Like, I mean, go watch our Halo episode. We talk about this. But like, division is from the devil. And
Amen.
Like, why should I want to vote for one side or the other when instead, why should I not vote for the things that I believe in?
Preach,
So
baby.
That's like
Preach.
yeah.
It would be so much more interesting if we were voting on issues,
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
on people or on
Yep.
party, but on
I
issues.
don't think
Yeah.
that's possible with such a big country.
Oh, probably not.
I don't. Nothing's impossible with our
What the-
God.
Just throwing crap?
Yes.
My
Yeah.
God.
Throwing crap. Nothing's impossible for our God.
Your children are here. Don't be a bad. Come on. Don't be a bad example. Yeah. No, and actually, so I was reading a bunch of this stuff, just like trying to like get an idea of where we were going to take it. And we didn't go this way, but I just want to say this because I liked this part. I was reading an article about from Word on Fire, and it said that I put the note here. Yeah.
Oh, from Bishop Barron's article.
No. This is completely separate now. No, this is from the writer of this article is Cody W. Cooper. It came out today, so
Okay.
it was funny that I was reading it. But yeah, basically he said that even though he was a Jewish guy, basically Oppenheimer's faith was in science, which is to say, his was a Baconian faith, which I don't know what that means, but in man and man's ability to conquer and master nature for man's own knowledge and power using the scientific method.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's kind of like Republicans and Democrats, where like I'm going to put a pedestal on the Democrats or the Republicans, and these are the people that will lead me to conquering and mastering.
Yep.
And like that's the exact same thing. People put their faith in things that aren't going to garner what you think is going to garner.
Amen.
Yeah,
so, that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the landscape right now, I feel like Vivek Ramaswamy is like the only guy
Love that name.
that's talking in a way that is interesting to me right now.
But he's not a Christian.
He's not a Christian, I know that, but he is. He's talking in the vein that I'm talking about. He's talking about getting rid of these.
I think he's
these
the
labels.
smartest person running. He's the most level-headed.
But he's talking about getting rid of the Republican Democrat labels. He's talking about just running on common sense, running on what's right and wrong. Like
he'll never get voted for.
He
them.
probably won't. But
he's too good to be true.
Yeah, and he's we need to make him Catholic too. But
what party was he on? Or is he
he's
on
Republican Party.
Oh, okay.
But again, he's like really driving home this
Let me
idea
get my little
of
Republican flags out.
Oh my gosh.
Elephant, right?
Let's keep you as a monarchist, babe.
I am definitely a monarchist.
All right.
But for now, I have to be a Republican until I don't know when. But
until the end of time.
I just literally when someone asks me if I'm Republican or Democrat, I just say I'm Catholic.
My Facebook profile is monarchist.
Oh
it is actually.
I love it. Okay. Awesome. So we covered some interesting ground here.
True. Final verdict on Oppenheimer. Should I go and see it?
No.
No.
Wow, really?
Preserve your dignity.
Dang.
Yeah. So that's
Okay.
actually the one thing I didn't get to get into.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about.
Thank you for that. I
Yeah.
totally forgot.
I mean, we kind of started talking about Oppenheimer, and then we kind of realized. So, anyways.
Yeah. So I do not advise watching Oppenheimer until, God willing, and VidAngel, I hope you're listening, until VidAngel releases a version of it that is edited. Because...
Can't you just look away?
Yeah, but the problem is
I can
that...
still hear it.
Oh.
The problem is that you don't know exactly when it's coming, so you end up seeing, it's like...
Did they, like, jump in the middle? Okay, basically, we're talking about the fact that there's basically porn in it.
Yeah, so there are two
that's
scenes in it that are unnecessary. They don't add to the story whatsoever. The exact same things could have been taking place other than the, what should have been marital relations in a privacy of a room without a
Did
camera.
he cheat on his wife?
No, well,
Spoilers!
I can't
Spoilers.
get into.
Wow.
No, I'm just saying
But
in real life,
in
like
real
the
life,
things that are happening
yeah.
here, that should only be
We should not
happening
be
between
seeing
a
it.
Oh, like
husband
the
and a
actor
wife
shouldn't be
Yeah.
doing that
in a
crap
room
either.
without a
yeah.
camera.
We should not be watching this.
For sure.
Right, yeah. So even if it's imitation, right? Even if
Right.
it's acting.
Correct.
Right.
But anyways,
Can you
they
imagine
don't.
how awkward that would be to be those actors?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it is extremely awkward.
That would
I've
just
read
be
several
terrible.
articles about it and how disturbing it is.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So anyways, they don't add anything to the story, and they are unnecessarily gratuitous. And it'd be one thing. It can be done to artistically put on display, for example, a little bit of nudity in a way that it lends to the story or something.
Right.
And this is done going all the way back through human civilizations, back into ancient Greece, whatever. Like, nudity is not inherently the problem.
Yeah.
The problem is the context in which it's being provided. And, there's a great nun. When I was out at the Theology of the Body Institute, Christopher West showed us a video of this really cute nun that's like super small and shrivelly, and she was an art an art historian or something, and there was literally a television show on like nationally broadcast television. It wasn't EWTN or anything, or maybe it was. I don't think it was EWTN, but like she would literally like comment on the nudity in the paintings, and the way that she would talk about it was like with zero shame. And she's this nun, and Christopher talked about how the first time he discovered her was all these years ago when it was still being aired, and he flipped to the channel, and this shriveled up little old nun that just has this beautiful and the beauty and purity about her, and she's just like, and look at the poof of the pubic hair, like just commenting on the art of it and stuff.
That's
and
disturbing.
I know, but
That
the point though is that there is nothing inherently wrong with nudity.
I side with the Puritans on all this.
No,
I was raised by the puritanical side, and I think
But
nakedness is
so then
weird.
Christopher showed us this interview where she was being asked, like, how can you do this as a nun?
How can she, Nick?
And I think the interviewer asked something like, what would you do if you were walking down the street and you saw someone that was completely nude? How would you
I would
react?
be like, here, put a coat on.
Would you not
Hide yourself.
scold them or be ashamed or whatever? And she would say,
would protect
she just
them.
paused for a moment and she's like, well, I'm not sure what there would be to scold them about.
Oh my
It's like,
gosh.
don't you? This is like a full.
Okay, let's talk about the
she's
naked
in
dudes
habits.
on bicycles riding around in
we
front
already
of
did
children.
that.
We did that
I
already.
know
You
that,
missed
but
that.
it's the same thing. Like, it's still naked people.
No, but,
Yuck.
but
I think there's a different.
she's making a
yeah.
different point though. Is that like
Ugh.
the Puritan influence, which is heretical,
No.
is is that the human body is bad.
Yes.
So she goes on to tell him
Very bad.
everything that was made by God, and everything that God made was good. And the human body,
She like German or?
she has some accent. I'm
Alina's like,
being,
what can I find to make it seem that she's an awful person?
yeah.
She's a Nazi.
Oh my gosh. Oh my.
Oh my gosh.
That's awful.
Anyway,
That poor shriveled up nun.
yeah, it was, and I'm not quoting her directly because I only saw it the one time, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Hi,
capture the
Lena.
general idea of what she was saying. But it was really this beautiful message that like art can depict nudity and it not be wrong.
Yeah.
The problem is that they did it in such a pornographic way and so unnecessarily and so gratuitously and so for such extended scenes, and it's like,
Yeah.
come on, why are you
So-
doing this to people?
Don't
Yeah.
see it.
So I
Don't
don't,
watch it.
I don't.
Which is frustrating because I was super excited to go and see this.
a lot of
Like
people.
I was so excited we were gonna go watch it. Watch it XD. It was gonna be great. I mean,
Yep.
we wouldn't have even gone to IMAX, but now like
yeah.
I don't even want to see it anymore.
Shoot, man, if you
know?
see that thing in IMAX, you're going to be like,
well, you're gonna be like, I'm like there. I'm there in the room. It's depressing.
you're not alone. I mean, I was talking to Pete Range a little bit ago today, and I told him about the movie, and he was like, shoot, man, like I wanted to watch it. Now I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna support like it's a movie about atomic bombs. Why that? Just
Yep.
so annoying.
Why the-
like why
Yep.
the bleep is it in
Yep.
there? Like I don't understand why. Why are you putting sex in my atomic bomb movie? Please stop.
It's atomic sex. It's different.
Oh my god.
Whoa! A bomb goes off once you're done.
Oh my gosh. Anyways,
Oh dear.
uh,
dear.
everybody, please like, comment, and subscribe on
True.
today's live stream. And thank you so much for being with us on today's stream or in watching the recording afterwards.
True.
Help us get the word out about what we're doing here. And also, if you want to support the work we're doing here, like I said earlier, we really need the support. We need help. We need to build a strong financial foundation for this ministry so that we can kick butt and go to town doing all the things that God wants us to do.
That's true.
Visit awakencatholic.org/donate to become a supporter today. We really, really need it.
I have an idea.
What's your idea?
What if somebody donates $50 this week, they get to pick a song that you get to sing on the next live
Oh
stream.
my god.
But it's got to be 50 or higher. Come on. God gave you a gift, Nick. Use
If
it.
somebody becomes a patron
Oh, a patron.
with a monthly contribution of
Oh my
$50,
gosh.
Whoa.
I will
wow.
sing a song of their choosing.
Okay, listen.
My gosh.
That's a little steep.
Is that too steep?
That is too steep. Come on. One contribution, $50. Come on. You can do that.
If it's not in writing, then who knows if he's actually gonna do it?
I'm the queen. I can say, and it will happen. So ha.
Austin Mass says to someone else that commented on the stream, "Hey Joe, what are you paying Nick to sing next week?" Oh
my
man,
gosh.
I think I should up the amount.
Yeah, yeah. Austin wants the hillbilliest song ever.
No!
So, there we go. Yeah. Well, I
Nick
don't know.
actually has a very
Bluegrass?
Wait,
good
let me also
Bluegrass.
clarify. This has to be a new patron registration, not just
Oh
like
my
someone that was
gosh.
already a patron.
Wait, are we doing Patreon or just a
gosh.
one-time donation?
Try Watchtower 45 says try that in a small town.
Oh my gosh.
Did you know about this song?
man.
No.
Oh my gosh, it's this country singer that has this song called "Try That in a Small Town," and
Oh, is it that Jason or
dude, we should have talked about that on today's
Oh, you're right. We
episode.
could have. Yeah. I didn't
He's
think
getting
about
super
that.
super canceled, but the
Yeah.
song is like number 2
Jason
now.
Aldean.
Yeah, Jason Aldean.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love
Man.
him. He's good.
Do you really? I have no idea who that is, other than
I
the
was
He's
in
a
a
story.
fairly
country
big.
band, bro.
He's a really big country
Joe
artist.
Maxey says, "What if I cancel and renew?"
Oh my gosh.
Only if when you cancel and renew, you double the amount.
Yeah,
Oh
double
my
it.
gosh.
Then we'll talk. What if he's got like $4 donation?
Joe, we love you for everything that you've given us
Yes.
so far.
You guys,
Don't take
honestly,
this
these people that are in the chat right now, a lot
We
of them
love
are
you
already,
all.
a lot of them are already patrons, and
Yes.
like they are amazing examples of why we're able to do this. So
Yes.
thank you guys
Yeah,
for
thank you. Thank you
everything
very
you make
much.
possible.
Claps. Yay.
All right. One more reminder: August 19th, Deacon Harold Burke
yes.
Sivers is going to be right here.
Talking about racism.
Awaken Theater, talking about racism from a Catholic perspective, yeah, there we go with the banner.
It's true.
So it is a ticketed event because it's one of the ways in which we're trying to support the work that we're doing here. But more important than the ticket sale is you coming. So if you want to come and you really can't afford a ticket, send an email to support@awakencatholic.org and let us know that you want to come but you can't afford a ticket, and we will comp your ticket. We're here to serve first and foremost. If you can afford a ticket or multiple tickets to invite other people, please do buy your tickets, because that'll help us in comping the tickets for people that can't afford it, and that also supports the work we're doing in general. But Deacon Harold is an amazing speaker. There's a little bit of a bio for him if you go to the event page to learn more about it and get tickets. So visit events.awakencatholic.org to get your tickets today, and please help us to spread the word about the event. It should be amazing. Deacon Harold is amazing.
Yes.
Ethan,
Yes.
thank you for being here with me
Hey,
today.
You're welcome. Thank your wife too. Come on.
I was saving the best for last.
I
Oh,
just
there you go.
glared at you like, really?
I was
See if I
was
come back.
specifically trying to evoke that response.
Nice.
Alina,
Go away.
sweetness of my life.
No.
My
no.
darling,
No.
beloved,
No.
No.
my sister, my bride.
Eh,
Ew, that's
I don't like
weird.
that very much.
Hey, it's Song of Songs. It's scripture.
Okay.
Thank you for being here today.
You're super welcome.
I love
Now,
you.
everybody vote for me.
Oh.
Queen, Monarchy, 2024. We're going to take this country in a totally new direction.
Wow.
Backwards.
I mean, it's coming to an end anyways.
I'm gonna have to see. That's
Democracy,
we are on
so-
the precipice of
This is
destruction.
true.
Um,
Might as well
750
go
years,
out with
something?
a
I don't know.
flare.
yeah, I'm gonna need to see your policies and your views
Ask
listed
me
out.
anything. I'm an open book.
What is your position on
Why
the
are we pulling-
colonization of Mars?
Mars is not real.
Mars is not real.
I'm
yikes.
kidding.
Are you
But
a
we don't
flat
need to
We need to end
colonize
this. We need to end
Mars.
this.
Why would we need to colonize
Are you a
anything?
flat earther?
Listen, I drove across the country with my children
The Earth
last
is a
month,
map.
and there's a lot of open space. There's so much room. Let's just chop down a tree and put up a house. You're fine. You
The
don't
Earth
need
is
to
a map.
colonize anything.
Ethan says the Earth is a
It's
map.
It's a map. It's true.
Austin Mass says now we're talking. Are you
Yeah.
referring to the flat Earth theory?
Yeah, maps.
Oh, is he a
woo.
flat earther? Oh boy.
Watchtower 45 says, boom, there it is. Forget Mars.
Forget Mars. We all hate Mars. Yeah. Stupid Mars. All
Since
right.
Joe Maxey says, since the dollar is going to collapse, I can donate 50 chicken eggs. I love
Oh
it.
my
This is
gosh.
great.
Nick will eat
Okay.
them all. That's perfect.
All right, y'all. We need to
I
bring
was
this
gonna say, we're
plane down for a
supposed to be done
landing.
here. Jeez.
Thank you, viewers and commenters, for joining us today. Alina, Ethan, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Before you go, y'all, I just need you to know that Jesus loves you. Peace.